If you want to talk about what makes a book significant to a reader, we have to talk about stakes. So, stakes have the biggest tug on a reader's emotions. It's what makes a book memorable and significant. And when I'm talking about stakes, basically, I'm talking about what there is to lose. So, either in the case of the reader or the protagonist, what is the distance between the best possible scenario and the worst case scenario? And so, this can be a little subtle. In broad terms, every genre has different conventional stakes. So if we're writing about love, if we're writing a romance book, then of course the stakes are best possible scenario is we fall in love and we live happily ever after. Worst case scenario is we're alone and isolated and we lose our chance at our soulmate. In an adventure book, we have life or death stakes. In nonfiction or self-help, personal development, the stakes are, will the reader reach their goal? Will they be supported? Will they grow and learn from this book? Or will they be hopeless and not know where to go with whatever it is they're searching for? And so to get a little deeper into the stakes, because the clearer you are on this aspect, the significance of your book, we want to go deeper than that. We really want to get specific, because the more you know what you're talking about when you're talking about the stakes, the easier the book is going to be to write. So once again, I want to get into archetypes, because when you think of that Shakespearean phrase, there's nothing new under the sun, what we really mean about that is literature deals with what it is to be human. And as humans, we're dealing with a lot of the same emotions and struggles and obstacles, but we're always evolving and dealing with them in new ways. That's why we keep reading and reading and reading books. So for me, one of the best ways to understand archetypes are oracle decks and tarot cards. So I have 6 tarot cards that I'm going to translate into prompts that will make it easy and fun to get to the center of the significance of your book. So let's get started. So first, I'm going to talk about the Chariot. So the Chariot is all about the power of intention. It's about a person with a direction. And this is where we need to start the book. We have either a protagonist, or in the case of self-help, a reader who wants something. They have fears and desires. They want to go towards their desires and they want to stay away from those fears and avoid them at all costs. So prompt number 1 on behalf of this Chariot is, what is the direction your person is going in? What do they want more than anything? And what are their biggest fears? So next, I'm going to pull for us the 2 of Swords. So here we've got the stakes, the 2 directions. So because they have fears and desires, they need to arrive at a crossroads. And so define that crossroads. What is the choice they need to make? I'll give an example here. Let's go to the example that we're all familiar with. Charles Dickens' The Christmas Carol. Everybody knows. I love to use that book. So at the beginning of A Christmas Carol, we have a protagonist with desires. His desires are get as much money as possible, and his fears are of these ghosts that are suddenly haunting him. And so he's at a crossroads. He needs to make a decision. Is he going to continue going about life as he always has, rather selfishly, alone, with a closed heart? Or is he going to open his heart and really open up to generosity, becoming a part of a community, and all of those things? So that's the crossroads, really, that these ghosts are taking him on the adventure. So we've got a directional protagonist, directional reader, and self-help, and we've got a crossroads. Define these things. What is the choice the person needs to make? So once we get to this crossroads, I'm actually going to split and put these 2 sides up at once. So we may have a general idea of what this crossroads is. We may have a general idea of what's going on. But more than anything, we want to get specific. And really, the next prompt is, can you give a specific vision of what the best case scenario is? That's the 2 of Wands. When They look out into their future. What do they want? Now, I'll give you a little hint ahead of time. This may not ever happen because we all know when we begin on an adventure, we have an idea of how we want things to turn out. But because we always want to create a surprising ending, it's probably not going to turn out exactly like that. And then we also have a very specific idea of the worst possible case scenario. So this is the Tower of the Tarot deck. It's when we try to build something and everything falls apart. So this is near, we need to have a very concrete idea of what can strip our reader down or protagonist down when they lose the thing they're afraid to lose, when they're really tested. What happens that really tests the protagonist? What do they have to lose and how do they lose it? So they're stripped down of everything they believed. How do we do this? We do it through the Six of Swords. So setting up a series of obstacles. So going back to our example, in the case of Scrooge in A Christmas Carol, we have three ghosts. That's very conventional to have three obstacles. Three is the magic number in literature most of the time. You can stray from that, but if you have three, we know we've put our person through the ringer. So what are the obstacles and how are they going to strip our reader, strip our protagonist from everything they thought they had, they believed in, the things they were, their worst fears need to come to life. And then that finally brings us to the ending. So after we've gone through this adventure of high stakes, it doesn't turn out exactly as we wanted. We wanted, the easy money, the easy love, the easy life with no obstacles and no tests. And somehow by the end, what we get instead is the strength card. And so how does the person at the beginning of the book change by the end of the book? How is the protagonist stronger, different from where they were at that crux at the very beginning? This is fun to contrast with the vision they wanted to what they actually get. And really, those prompts are what make up the stakes. So one more time, I'm just going to go through these quickly. Who is our protagonist? Is our protagonist the reader? Who is our protagonist? What do they fear and what do they desire? What is the decision they have to make? What do they have to choose? What's their vision of the best possible outcome? What is the worst possible case scenario to them? Bring this in. Make sure they have to go through this. Obstacles. Clearly define the obstacles that they have to go through in order to get there. Who are they at the end? How have they changed? What is their strength now that they've gained by going through all this? In Joseph Campbell's The Hero's Journey, this is sometimes called the elixir. So they've transformed, they're now stronger. Where are they at? So if you ever feel blocked in your book, probably just asking questions about these different dimensions of your book can get you going again. I love prompts. I'm always using prompts. So if you want the more prompts below, I have a link so that you can get these sent directly to your inbox. And every single Friday, I'm always putting out a new helpful hint to help you move forward on your book. So please subscribe to the channel and we will keep you going forward. So much love. Ciao for now.